morning, and thank you for coming to our event today. I'm going to take you through the highlights of the Bulgarian market and explain to you what happened the previous year, what were the key achievements for us here. Basically, we tried to penetrate as much as we could the usage of payment cards within the consumer expenditure. And as a result, we saw a tremendous increase of point-of-sale transactions at 45% compared to 2009. And because the payment cards were used more and more for purchases at the point of sale, we eventually saw a decrease in the average transaction value by 15%, which is a good indicator. For the first time, we launched prepaid cards in Bulgaria. Mark mentioned earlier that prepaid cards are growing up quickly in Europe, not only for the consumers, but also for various government programs to pay out benefits to the individuals instead of handing out cash. Mark mentioned the issuance of VPay cards in 9 markets in Europe. Bulgaria is one of them, and right now we have over 300,000 VPay cards in the country. Again, it's the safest debit product with chip and PIN. If there is no chip and PIN infrastructure, this product cannot be used. We also developed the cashback service, which gives you the ability to get some small amount of cash when you make payments using your Visa card. I believe that 3 major supermarket and petrol stations are using this service, and about 50 more stores that handle lots of qualities of cash offering this service in Bulgaria. We also hired or did an event with regards to the shadow economy, which, as you know, we had mentioned last year that it represents about 33% of the GDP in the country. If you put this into monetary volume, it's about 22 billion Bulgarian leva. I mean, the results that we presented during the event last year showed that 2/3 of the shadow economy is undeclared work, and 1/3 is misreported income. And the fact is that in order for shadow economy to happen, cash must be used. Cash is the means that is used to promote illegal taxable payments. So this year we will again propose the 5 measures that we did last year, such as the ability for consumers to make payments using their payment cards, the public sector, the salaries of the people to be paid electronically, 1,500 given the ability for VAT reduction when a payment card is used for a limited period of time, and also a proposal to modify the existing regulations that customers are given the opportunity to pay using payment cards. Now I'm just going to show you some of the key numbers for the previous year in Bulgaria. As you can see, the consumer spending at the point of sale for purchases grew by 23% almost to 535 million euros. The overall cardholder expenditure for purchases and ATM usage is about 2.5 billion. That was a 28% increase. Total number of transactions, we almost reached 12 million transactions. And these transactions were at the point of sale using Visa cards to purchase things, an incredible increase of 45%. And finally, the total number of cards, we have reached 2.6 million cards, which represents a 20% increase compared to 2009. Now, comparing some of the figures of 2010 to 2009, 45% increase in the number of point-of-sale transactions, 51% increase for debit, and 21% for credit cards. The average transaction value on point of sale, as I said earlier, was decreased at 15%, and that shows that the cards are used more and more and, to buy things. So the average transaction value is being reduced. And finally, the number of point of sale transactions per average card was increased by 25%. Now, 2011, what the key priorities will be for us. Obviously, we will try to penetrate as much as we can, again, the cash payments using our product. But at the same time, we want to educate consumers on the proper usage of payment cards. This is why we are aiming to launch a site which will provide advice and tips to the consumers on the best usage of not only payment cards, but also loans and the better management of their finances. We will try to push the usage of payment cards for everyday low-value payments. And one of the key initiatives will be to develop the acceptance environment. You may have experienced yourselves that acceptance of payment cards is mainly concentrated in large stores and in larger cities. But acceptance in everyday low-value payment environment is very limited. So this is going to be one of the things that we're going to try to change next year. Again, I mentioned before the activity that we undertook last year about the shadow economy. We will continue to provide feedback on that. Mark showed earlier that if we manage to increase electronic payments by 10%, the size of the shadow economy could be reduced by 5%. If you put it down into numbers, this is huge. So I think this is going to help to put money into the real economy. We will also try to develop further the cashback service. We're going to try to include more and more merchants participating into this service. VPay, again, is one of our priorities because we have seen that markets that have introduced chip and PIN, the percentage of fraud has decreased dramatically. We will continue with our brand and promotional campaigns as we move on to the sponsorship of the Olympic Games in London. As you probably know, Visa is one of the sponsors of the Olympic Games, so for the next 2 years we're going to be focusing more and more on this sponsorship. And finally, we're going to work with the Ministry of Interior to create an educational campaign for the safer use of internet for young children, for children. So this is one of the social corporate responsibilities that we're going to undertake next year.